What's up? It's Tiffany. Before we get started on this week's episode, please be sure to send us your requests at booshakalakapodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter X, BOOshakalakapod. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram at BOOshakalakapodcast.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Booshakalaka Podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany, joined by my co-host, Pierre.
You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me.
Thank you, Alfalfa.
Okay, yes.
At first, I was like, what is this? I know the song. What are we doing with it? Well, what we're doing this week is we are doing a recap/review on 2009's Drag Me to Hell. And baby, you are in for a wild ass ride. The amount of times I screamed at my TV. Synopsis is: a lone officer who evicts an old woman from her home finds herself the recipient of a supernatural curse. Desperate, she turns to a seer to try and save her soul, while evil forces work to push her to a breaking point. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Everybody was dumb. And everybody was in the wrong.
I don't know what this movie wanted from me. I don't know what it was trying to do. It felt like, honestly, most of the movie felt like it was trying to just like gross out the audience as much as fucking possible. I was pissed.
So the director is Sam Raimi. So Sam Raimi is the one that directed the Evil Dead movies. So it's gross out slapstick comedy. I actually saw this in the movie theaters.
I'm sorry.
And we were like, you know, the commercials were giving scary movie, but in the theater we were slapping our knees and everything. Like, we couldn't believe how funny this movie was. But shall we begin?
We shall. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Let's good to go. Yeah, so we're in, I guess, Pasadena, and we see a couple pull up to a mancha. I knew this lady at work. She used to call them a mancha.
The lightest skinned Mexicans I've ever seen.
Well, those are the ones that are proof of TV.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Except for in Black Panther, they were very brown in Black Panther.
So yeah, they pull up and their son is in the back.
I could have went up in there. I just put me down a little bust down wig.
I hate you. Their son is in the back of
their
pickup truck.
You okay? My goodness.
And
they go see, her name is, I know you all, the names kill you.
No, so I know it was Sean was it Sean Don Juan? Sean San Juan? It was
Don Julio. It was Sean Sandina.
That's what I said, Cornholio. And yes, and
I am Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole.
Bunghole. So they're freaking out because basically their son stole a bracelet from a gypsy woman. We do recognize that that's a slur now, but damn it, this is when the movie was. And so he stole it from a gypsy woman.
Well, what's the other word? Romani?
Romani. And he stole a bracelet from her and she cursed his ass.
Doesn't T.I. have a son named Romani? Oh, I think it's Damani.
I'm gonna go to. Why did you have to make him? Why you had to make old boy relevant? So they go to her for assistance because they're like, help our son. He's seeing things. Things are attacking him. You know, we need your help. So they go and
so this is a very spiteful entity, because the kid even tried to return the necklace and they said, nah, bitch, no dice.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put that out there. It's very important later.
Yes, it is. So they go and they try to do a little seance with him. Baby, it don't work because in 5 minutes. Because in 5 minutes, he's attacked by Hugh Kane, his mom, his parents. I'm sorry, his mom, his dad, and
that's Big Daddy Kane, not Hugh Kane. Some scary movie too.
And he whips their asses. They all on the floor, And then the boy gets pushed off the balcony. I thought he was dead, but he wasn't. He was just all crinkled up. And the poor little boy is dragged to hell. And, I mean, we don't even see his parents no more. We don't even see their reaction. We see her reaction. And she's just like, I'll see you again, you spirit. And then
I'll get you and your meddling puppy or whatever the fuck.
I hate you.
Scrappy Debbie Doo.
And we're introduced to our main character, who is so uninteresting. Christine.
She is like a wet towel.
Christine.
Thrown over a patio chair.
Damn.
Drying after a day at the beach. Oh, I mean, she picks it up a little later in the movie, but in the beginning, oh my God.
Her acting was terrible. So Christine is a loan officer at a bank, and she wants to get this assistant manager position. The whole time I was watching the movie, I was like, really, assistant manager? Like, this is what we fighting for? Assistant manager at a bank?
Yo, it wasn't even a full office.
I'm like,
it was a cube. It had a window.
Well, she had a window. She had a desk, so going to a cube will be an upgrade. But I'm just like, is this really what we fighting for? Like, it wasn't like a VP position. You assistant manager, you moving across the way. Like, literally, she was moving across the... I was like, wow.
She could see her desk from where she was. She wasn't going up to the second floor.
So but anyway, that's what she's gunning for that position. It's between her and Stu. I hate people like that in the workplace. I have nothing for Stu. But yeah, it's between her and Stu, and her boss is like an asshole about it. Cause I don't like I don't like how they dangle it in front of you and make y'all compete.
So the promotion is actually surprisingly between two minorities, a woman and an Asian man. I was really surprised by that. They didn't put another white guy. The white guy was the supervisor, but I was surprised by that. And I was like, okay, I appreciate it, even though Sergeant Wu from Grimm, my favorite show ever, is an asshole. Mm-hmm. He is a douchey douche.
And she has a boyfriend, Clay, played by Justin Long, because he's a Scream King. And
well, before we meet Clay, the boss tells her, she asks him, who is the, have you made a decision on the promotion? And he tells her, well, it's between you and so, but I feel like you are lacking with demonstrating tough decision making. So he gives her, there's reasons why she does what she does at the pivotal moment with the lady. But I wanted to definitely press on the fact that she's kind of being pressured to make these decisions from her boss. But yes, so she goes and hollers at Clay.
And yeah, Clay's her boyfriend, and they have a good relationship. The only thing is for some reason, his mom, who hasn't even met her yet, doesn't like her. She's like, she's not ambitious.
Ridiculous.
I want to hook you up with this other girl because she's like, has all these accomplishments. And I'm like, you don't even fucking know the girl. Like, but okay. That was weird.
She want to be with him. That's all.
And I wanted to mention that because she also feels the pressure to make something of herself by being an assistant manager at a bank. And so, to impress his mom. So that matters as well. Mm-hmm. And we just jump right into the plot. So she has to make tough decisions, right? So
you're skipping these important pivotal moments, sir. While she goes to meet him for lunch, we find out that he is a coin collector. So she gives him this rare coin from 1929 Buffalo Head. I don't know what the hell it was called. And he's like, oh, wow, I'm going to add this to my collection. He puts it in a white envelope, seals it up, and puts it in his briefcase. And when I'm telling you, I knew that was going to be where this all was going to stem from. I knew it right then and there.
I didn't pay attention to that part because it was so fucking boring.
But when the camera pans to a person putting a coin in an envelope, that is so minuscule. You're not even thinking about that. It has something to do with the plot. Mm. That's why you miss it. And that's why I see it.
Mm-hmm. But when I'm doing reviews and I'm giving every detail,
we need to know. That is literally the most important part of this movie.
So
this is the reason why she's dragged to hell. This is the reason why. Spoiler alert.
I hate you.
Don't even.
Oh.
Face head ass.
She heads on over back to work. And her next customer,
Sylvia Ganesh.
Not
Ganesh.
And she's over there tapping her claws on her desk. She just, the way they made her look. and and she was just doing too much. So basically, she's her house is about to be.
She was hacking. She had a handkerchief. It looked like yellow squash soup. Something. It was so. This is me screaming at the camera. I mean, at the TV.
Very very.
That was like number
hard to watch. It was very hard to watch. But yeah, she's just looking. She's dying. She's just dying at her desk. And she's like, look, baby, my house is about to be foreclosed. And apparently she missed a couple payments. And she missed them because she had some health issues. The sickness took her eye. I don't know what the fuck that means. I hate when they talk like that in modern movies. Like, what is the sickness, ma'am? What do you have? And
so yeah, what I don't understand about that, they say she's on a fixed income and then she was sick. Did she have to spend extra money out of her income for
that's what I'm thinking, to cover the medical bills?
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Yeah.
But wouldn't her insurance cover the medical bills?
If she on a fixed income, would she have a job? Was she on Medicare?
She would have insurance. Yes. That's like a combo deal. I had an aunt that was on Medicare and she got a check every month because she had disability. She was a disability.
I don't know how it works. I don't know.
Maybe hers was just retirement.
Yeah, because I don't know. But maybe she's not an American citizen. I don't know how that works.
She's
like, I don't know.
We're digging too deep. So she wants a third extension on her mortgage. That's what she already
had to.
Ultimately asking for. Yeah.
And Chris is like, you know what? It's not up to me. It's up to my bank manager. So let me go check with him. And he's like, well, we already gave her 2 extensions. And also he throws in, well, if we foreclose on her house, the bank will get the fees. He throw that in there. Yeah, like they agreed about it. I didn't know that though. I didn't know that they got, money for foreclosing on home. But I guess
I couldn't do a job like this.
Yeah.
I'm too sympathetic. People will be on their 25th extension with me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be a parole officer because I'd be like, yeah, you did just go get you something to eat. It's okay. You're out past curfew. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I see good in people, but because it's not affecting me personally. And I think that's the problem.
Well, I don't. And so he's like, look, this is a tough decision. Echo. So it's up to you. And so she's like, she pauses and she's just like, my boyfriend, mama don't like me because I ain't shit. And then I need this promotion because it's going to give me $2 extra an hour. And I really want to be able to buy more ramen. So she goes out there and she's like, look, bitch, ain't shit I can do. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. And the lady,
get your shit and get out.
And the lady,
mind you, the lady took her teeth off and put them on her handkerchief on Christine's desk to steal her candy. Then she took all of her candy and dumped it in her purse. So yeah, get your shit and get out.
So, every time, stop, because I don't want to. I'm trying to let the visions of this movie go. So she can. No, so the woman,
you can let it go once the review ends.
The woman is like, no, please, I really need this. And she was like, look, there's nothing I can do. My loan manager won't. Like, she lies about it. Then the woman is like, all right, look, I'm a proud woman. I ain't never begged in my life, but I will beg. So she get on her knees. She start praying. She start kissing her. She start and then she start like rubbing all on her skirt, like putting her mouth on her. It was, I would, like, bam. I don't know how they be controlling themselves because my first instinct would be to punch her in her fucking head.
Well, she could have easily pulled away, but she doesn't. She says, she gets on her laptop and she types in "help white woman in danger," and security shows up within 1.2 seconds.
And that's when shit goes down. Because Sylvia say, "You shame me? I beg you, and you shame me?" She take off them earrings, baby, and she go to what, tally what that hoe. And
stop, fuck them up.
And she tried to go and whip Christine's ass, but security gets her and drags her out the building, and baby, she's pissed. And
no, she's too busy and back at the car hacking again.
And so this is how I knew she should have just quit this fucking job, because like her boss come over like, hey, you all right? And he just walks away. Like, there's very little compassion about everything this woman goes through in this movie. Like, they do. Her boss, well, he tells her fuck about her.
He says,
you
did the right thing.
Yeah. It just like they just don't care about her. It was very like, I don't know if you want to call it sad, but it was just very, very just jarring how they didn't give a fuck about their employee. So I feel
like she could have taken her services somewhere else.
Yeah. And so she heads to of course, she's in the fucking company parking garage and by herself. Because I don't know why you don't even leave it. So
she was working late, finishing up some kind of proposal or something for the supervisor, and he asked her to, take it home and finish it for real, for real. So that's why she was at work kind of late.
Am I getting overtime?
Hello.
So she walks.
Hello.
So she walks to the pool, and she hears like wind and hail and storms and rain and toad and gray and
leaves rustling.
Like just some bullshit you ain't gonna see in no parking garage. Mind you, it's a small parking garage. So the fact that she even like tiptoeing over there, tiptoeing on her heels, girl, and she
tiptoeing in my Jordan.
So she heads to the car. This
pissed me off. Tiptoeing everything.
This pissed me off just because she went to her car and then she tried to open it and she didn't even unlock it. I was like, girl, what the fuck? Like, just dumb ass.
She goes to her car. She goes to the garage and we see Sylvia's Pinto. This lady tried to attack you a couple of hours earlier, and you see her car. You know this bitch is still here. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, so she turns around, Sylvia's in the car, and Sylvia grabs onto her earring and like tries to rip it out of her ear, and then Christine grabs a stapler and starts stapling Sylvia's face. She actually staples her eyes shut. No one ever would have did, but she staples her eyes shut.
She grabs her hair. She grabs a fist. How does she have hair by in this movie?
She does get her hair ripped out 3 times.
She like, goddamn. She grabs her hair, pull out a big chunk. Like she is trying to strangle her. Like it's a lot going on. And I mean, well, like I'm trying to like, because maybe she couldn't open the door because she had her neck at that time. But
yeah, so she slams on the gas.
Yeah, she uses her Prindle and she goes into reverse and she smashes into a car, knocking the lady back. That don't work because she still come up there and just start like she ripping this girl, she beating her ass. And so she pushes the Prindle to drive and she goes and smashes into another car. I thought she was gonna like.
I thought she was gonna fly out the window.
Yeah, fly out the window, but she just flies to the
like
front
Chucky seat. In Child's Play 2. How did he fly out that window in Child's Play 2?
Stop referencing that movie. So
it's one of my favorites. I'll always reference it.
So she just comes to the front seat and immediately, like, her teeth fly out.
Yeah. So she jumps up and she starts gnawing on Christine's face. So like her mouth is, she's like, kind of like how a baby would gnaw, like suck on a mom. It was so disgusting. Like after she like is fighting with Christine, she gets kicked out of the car. Somehow she goes under the car and comes back up with a brick. She blasted through the window and she pulls Christine out of the car and she grabs the button off of Christine's coat and she starts Ade Due Dambala, any kind of curse you could think of. This is the only one that I ever know. I don't know. I haven't really watched too many curse movies. So Christine should have beat her up while she was talking, and Sylvia then tells her, soon it will be you who comes begging to me. And Christine, I guess the curse just takes over and she passes out. She wakes up, there's cops there and everybody's to the rescue. And while she's leaving with Clay, the wind starts rustling. She starts hearing voices and they happen to walk by a fortune teller shop. And she's like, hey, Clay, let's just go up in here to see what's going on. And he's very skeptical. He's like, no, I don't want to see what's going on. I don't really give a shit about this. Let's get home so I can, wash her face because that lady was sucking on it. Ugh. Just kidding. Yeah. Anyway, so they get into the fortune teller's office and we see Jazz, and Jazz is, kind of cute. We were kind of feeling him.
He was fine, but I've never seen like a male medium before like that. I've never seen that in movies. But he's like, all right, it'll be $60. And Clay like, of course it's $60, bitch. And he's like, oh yeah, you hear
$40.
And
what happened to $10? I'm so used to the fortune tellers in New Orleans with $10 signs out on their window.
Yeah. 60. Damn, you
asked. They're in LA.
So yeah, he sits them down and he like, oh, you lost something, and she's like, no, I ain't lose shit. Like he's he tells her like some generic shit, that's why Clay's like rolling his eyes. But then he's like, you lost something. She's like, I ain't lose nothing. And then he's like, you lost a button. And Clay like, everybody can see she lost a button. Bitch, you didn't know. And
didn't.
Because the ending of the movie is clear you didn't know. So so she's like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah. And then he gets like this scary vision that comes from her. And he's like, oh shit, you bitch, you got a dark spirit.
He sees Satan from South Park, and it says, I'm super. Thanks for asking.
That wasn't Satan's song, but I appreciate that you remember.
Oh my God! Whose was
Big
that?
Gay, that was Big Gay Al's song.
Big Gay Al. Oh, Satan's was up there.
Up there.
There's so much room.
Where babies birth.
And flowers bloom. Everyone's dreaming I can dream too.
Up there.
Where the skies are ocean blue.
That movie has some
live without a care.
Because South Park has some bangers.
Live without a care. Hold on. If only I could live up there.
Why was South Park such a good musical? And why does it not get the recognition it deserves?
It needs to be on Broadway.
Like, oh, don't do that. Because oh. And they just said they're not doing any more episodes until the election is over. So let me tweet them.
I want to live up there.
So yeah, he freaks out. He's like, bitch, you got dark spirits around you. Get the fuck out of here. He don't even want to take the money. He's like, get the fuck out. And so, they drop him home. And she's like, he was scared. And he's like, girl, shut the fuck up. So Clay just drops her off at home. And then he goes and does. I can't tell if they live together or not. Because he's like, because it's like, it's nighttime and you just said we're going to go home. So where the fuck do you got to go?
I don't think that they do. And I don't think I don't understand how she afforded that house.
That's why she wanted the assistant manager, because her house about to be foreclosed. So she go home. She got a little kitty. And she starts immediately seeing visions. Like she's seeing like shadows. It's looking like ghosts with
bitch, nevermore.
And immediately they start slamming her into shit. Like they start whipping her ass. And I'm like, girl, we don't have like, you ain't going like, it just starts very quickly. I'm like, aren't you like, just, like maybe I hear
the ghosts that we're used to. These aren't the ghosts that we're used to. We're used to ghosts like in Poltergeist, stacking chairs up and shit.
Right. Like
these ghosts come in and they start whooping ass. And I think that if the ghost came in like Poltergeist and started whooping ass, people would have moved out faster.
Touche. So yeah, it starts beating her ass. She don't have like no hope. Like her lip get bloody and everything. So of course, and they don't call the police, but Clay calls the doctor, and the doctor's just like, look, it's just stress, it's just trauma. She's reenacting her trauma. I'm like, it happened six minutes ago. Like she just got attacked by this lady earlier tonight, which means she reliving trauma already. And she's just like, she hears them talking, so she's just like, I heard what the doctor said. Maybe it's just trauma. Baby, she thinks that until they go to bed after Chris nails her, and she has the most disgusting.
Her name is Chris.
Oh, Clay. Sorry. Clay and Chris. And Clay nails her to the bed. And then she has this dream that the lady is laying beside her. And then, of course, she has to get on top of her. And she doesn't just try to kill her. What does she try to do? She throws up fucking maggots and bugs and like, what fucking shit?
I think it was mealworms into her mouth. Baby, this movie is gross.
I know. And then she just be screaming like every time. And I'm like, they're getting in your mouth.
And it's just in her mouth. Oh, like she just gratefully takes in everything Miss Sylvia gives her.
Pissing me off. So yeah, it's just gross. So she wakes up and she's like, oh, I couldn't wake up. And he's just like, it's okay. So she tries to go back to work.
I'm taking 2 to 3 business days off.
I'm like, and she shows up, don't nobody say, hey girl, you okay? I'm like, sorry about what happened.
Did you see Octavia Spencer in this movie?
No.
She's in the background of 2 scenes. So the scene where the lady starts to, you shame me. She in the background. Then she's sitting behind, she's at the desk behind Christine. I'm like, okay, Octavia Spencer for an early role. Just back there chilling.
Not a day player.
Chilling. Please, Mr. Ghostface, don't kill me. I'm just a day player.
So she's trying to enjoy herself, and then she sees crick, and it's basically Stu, but she's seeing Sylvia's hand on her desk. And Stu's like, hey, you gonna show me how loans work? And she's like, I'm having a bad day. Can we do it tomorrow? This bitch talking about, oh, I'll go let the boss know you can't do it. Fuck it. This was so triggering because people like this in the fucking workplace just.
And I love his character in Grimm, but here I wanted to off with his head.
I want y'all to burn in hell. Like, y'all the most disgusting people in the world. People who just go to work and try to fucking fuck with people. Like, oh my God, I hope like your family dog dies. So yeah, they she's going over how loans work. And I'm like, if he doesn't know how loans work, how is he up for this promotion?
Hello.
Knowledge is like the first thing. And if you don't have job knowledge, how are you going to be an assistant manager? You know how loans work. Like, that literally threw me off. I'm like, I know it ain't no fucking teller trying to get no assistant manager position over you.
There she is.
I see. Fuck you.
She's a bank coworker. I was like, that's Octavia. But maybe yeah,
they probably cut her scenes out when she was actually talking.
Possibly.
So she's like, all right, fine. But in the midst of training him, she's starting to hear stuff. She's starting to see stuff, and she still sees that creepy hand and all that. And so she freaks out and she's like, get your fucking pig knuckle off my desk. She's a terrible actress. So
her reactions were really weird.
And her line deliveries just sucked. Like,
because I would have really been like, what's wrong with your hand?
Yeah. like you're still at work, right? That's what was killing me. It's like she knows she's in these places and she's the only one who can see these things, but she still reacts like everyone else can. And that's what pisses me off.
Right.
Like, come on now. But then, so he like runs off, and then she starts bleeding. Like, her nose starts bleeding, and I thought it was just an illusion. Now, this one I thought was an illusion. This is where it gets confusing, because like sometimes only she can see it, but then sometimes other people can see the shit. And she starts dripping. Her boss is like, "Hey, you have a nosebleed," and she's like, "Oh, it's fine." Then she starts. It looks like fucking Kill Bill.
She goes like this. Oh yeah, it wasn't. Oh yeah, with the arm.
Or when Oren.
No, that wasn't Oren.
Yeah, when she cut his head off.
No, it reminded me more of the part where Black Mamba cut off the girl's arm, and she was like, ah! She was moving her arm around and. What was so funny is the supervisor kept saying, "Did you get it in my mouth? Did you get it in my mouth?"
Like, and then that's another thing about this job. They're like, "Come on, sir, we'll clean you up." What about her?
Right, like, her nose was bleeding profusely. It wasn't like I used to get nosebleeds. That's not a nosebleed. They were still like drip, drip, drip. Her brain was leaking. Cindy, the TV's leaking. Because there's no way that that would have been for real. That was scary. But as she runs out of the office, and Stu steals the file that she was working on the night before. He steals it off of her desk. So we're like, shit. So basically, it's her turn to beg. It's Christine's turn to beg. So she goes up to Sylvia's.
She goes to Sylvia's house, bloody shirt and all. Did you notice she didn't change the fucking shirt?
I have a really strong opinion about this part. But let's go ahead and start. So she goes to Sylvia's house, but guess what? Time's up, buddy. So Sylvia's granddaughter opens the door, and she's like, "Oh, now you're here to talk to me? Or you're here to lie in my face?" And Christine's like, "I just want to apologize. I can get her house back." And the granddaughter's like, "Okay, come on in." She brings her into the house, and then they having what appears to be a fucking bar mitzvah, but it's actually Sylvia's funeral. So Sylvia is dead to the basement, and Christine's like, "Wait a minute, she dead?" And somebody kind of hits her shoulder, and she topples over and knocks Sylvia's ass. Sylvia is in the casket. She falls on top of her, breaks the legs, and Sylvia topples over on top of her, and bitch, she get another.
And she started throwing up bile, and I'm just like, and it was getting in her mouth. Like, get her off of me, get her off of me.
Was she not cremated?
No.
Was it?
You mean? Wait? I think you mean. Was she not?
Because it couldn't have been embalming food. No. Yeah, cremated.
I was like, cremated. You mean embalm?
Yes, embalm. Because I was thinking, is that embalming fluid coming out? That is deadly. I mean, it was green
CGI. Did you notice how bad the CGI was? Because
the CGI, oh my God, it was wet. So bad looking at it.
He wasn't wet at all when she got up. But it's such shock value because it's like, this is some gross.
It reminded me of wasn't that Scary Movie 3 when they was knocking over the fucking corpse? Oh my God. Kevin Hart and Anthony Anderson's character.
She's alive.
I said, right. That's where they got that idea from to do that movie. But it's like Sylvia's, I guess, granddaughter tells her, you know, basically fatty 2x4. Oh yeah, we did miss a part a little earlier where we see that Christine used to be fat. So yeah. She calls her fatty 2x4, and this like puts even more ideas in Christine's head that these people really, you know, have some sort of powers. They're able to really do this. So she's like hell bent that Christine knows that Sylvia put this curse on her. But my point that I would like to make is what's crazy is even if Christine would have given her that extension on the house, the bank would have had the house back in 2 days because her ass died.
Right.
Also, all those people that attended her funeral could have helped her pay for her mortgage.
Touche.
Don't celebrate me if you don't want to help me.
Touche. Especially when
I'm gonna have a fucking guest list at my funeral.
She made it a big deal that it was her mom's home, and I'm assuming that means it's a family home. So now y'all show up to the family home that we done lost. Like that was I didn't even think about that, but that's But of course,
was too many people there. It would have made more sense if it was just like the granddaughter and maybe somebody else.
Yeah.
But it was like 80 people down in that basement. No, I'm not doing it. You want, but that's why I'm saying everybody was wrong, because those are the people that she should have asked.
Yeah. Don't sell grandma's house. And so her granddaughter's like, oh, so yeah, you did a lot to help her. You deserve everything that's coming to you. And granddaughter, why didn't you help? So yeah, it's just very much because my thing is, in the real world, the loan officer probably wouldn't have been able to make that decision. Like, even if she did say, "Oh yeah, we could give you another extension," I feel like a higher up would have been able to. Like, what did you want her to?
It's gonna be pushed up to somebody higher. You're not going to see the face of the person that denies you. You're probably going to get a letter in the mail because that would be threatening for people's lives.
So I just but so poor baby.
She goes back to see Jazz now with his old fine ass.
And she like, look, this bitch is dead. I need help. So he's like, oh, well, here, you know, sometimes you can appease spirits by sacrificing animals, like a blood sacrifice. And she's like, I'm a vegetarian. See, it's shit like this. The minute she said I'm a vegetarian, I'd be like, get the fuck out. Because you don't want to live. Like, she's still acting like this is all jokes and games and shit. When you done got your ass looked by a ghost, you done seen all these visions. It's not, fuck your I'm a vegetarian. Like, girl, if you don't slit a goat's throat and go to hell. So
fuck your vision. And
he gives her a book.
Kids. Fuck them cats. Well, he also tells her that as long as she owns that button, the demon known as Lamia is going to torment her for 3 days before literally dragging her to hell. And he says maybe a sacrifice will work. And you like you just said, and but I'm a vegetarian.
He gives her a book on animal sacrifices, and so she heads home, and she gets attacked. Like Lamia is, like it's to the point where she can't even call Clay because he cuts her fucking phone off. And he ran the
battery.
Yeah. Also, I hated that.
Bitch, it was a flip phone.
I hated that shot when she tries to call Clay and he at his office and his phone is like in the foreground.
Did you see the picture of her?
Yes.
Her picture was like.
I hated that shot. But yeah, so like he at the door, you know, knocking his hooves and shit. And so she like, you know what? He ain't about to come up in my shit. So she grabbed that cat. She said, here, kitty. Here, kitty. And she kills the little kitten and she buries it in the backyard. And then Clay come home. He like, hey, you know, we had the dinner with my parents, but maybe we should cancel it. She like, no, it's okay. He's like, bitch, you covered in blood. Oh, it's a tomato. I would have just been like, I had a nosebleed. Why the fuck? Her lies are so stupid. Like, I got a tomato and you cut a tomato and it squirted all over your shoulder.
So here's the thing. I feel like she gets what's coming to her because she agrees to go to his parents' house when Jazz told her maybe a sacrifice will work. It's like you need to test this shit out first. But because she's so fucking male centered, she has to go and try to appease these people's parents. I don't understand if ever wanted to be part of a family that doesn't want you.
Yeah, I can't.
You will never be happy. You will never be
like
happy.
the whole the mother-in-law hates me. Like she's, I don't. Yeah, no.
You'll never be happy.
And again,
unless he's not close to his family.
Yeah, but again, she hates you, and she didn't even met you yet. So it's really like a lose-lose situation. It's not like she was like, "Oh, I met the girl, I didn't like her because this, and this."
Right.
She just don't like you because you were a loan officer. So
no, she doesn't even know the girl's job.
Oh yeah, because she tells her at dinner.
Remember, they tell her. Yes.
So well, she thinks she's a bank teller though. So she heads on over. They head on over to dinner. She assumes it worked because she did it. So I guess that's why, Tiffany. She just assumes it worked because I cut this bitch open, so it must have worked. So they head on over and they meet Justin Long's white parents. This pissed me off because there are a lot of this cast is too diverse for you not to be able to find him an Asian parent, at least one. Like he's not like I don't like what I hate when they do this in movies. Like they did it with Freddie Prinze Jr. Like why are his parents white? He's Mexican. Why are Justin Long's parents white? He's clearly Asian.
2009?
So it only bothered me. Okay. So, yeah, we meet his white parents, and they go and they're such a bitch to her. Well, his mom's like a bitch to her. And that's when she explains, like, oh, I'm not a bank teller, I'm a loan officer. And then they go, and she brought a cake. It's an ugly looking fucking cake. Was that carrot cake? It looked hideous.
She said it was a harvest cake.
Yeah, and she's like explaining it to her, but then she don't understand what the fuck she's talking about. She's like, well, it's a harvest cake. We used to have these but the harvest. I was like, do you know why you made the fucking cake? Because it seemed like she didn't know what the fuck she was talking about.
Girl, if I show up to somebody's house, I'm buying a cake. Because you're not finna tell me that I made something nasty. I'm going to nothing but cakes, and I'm gonna get you a little buttlet. Enjoy, bitch. Because I'm not making anything. Not on the first meeting.
It looked nasty.
Not on the first meeting. It looked like fruitcake.
Yeah. And so they have dinner, and she's like, the mom's being condescending until like she starts asking Chris like a bunch of personal questions, and Clay's trying to do that typical thing where guys do, where he's trying to like lie to his mom, like, oh no, we don't, her mom, she doesn't want to talk about it, and she's like, no, my mom's an alcoholic, that's why we're not close, she lives alone, and my dad's dead, and all this kind of stuff. And, her mom kind of respects that because she's like, well, at least you're honest. And that's refreshing. His last girlfriend, she wasn't honest. She was trying to kiss my ass. And so
but you can't boost one woman up by putting another one down. So I still didn't like the mom.
No, you're not supposed to like her, but it was just, they start getting along and they start having a good time at dinner until dessert comes out. And the cake comes out and she's like, oh, I can't wait to taste this cake. And they're all eating it. Apparently it tastes good, even though it looks like fucking carrot fruit cake. And Christine goes for a bite, and there's an eyeball.
Hold on. Do you not like carrot cake?
No. What the fuck?
Okay. Phew. That's my favorite.
Why did you say it like that? Carrot cake.
I was about to hang up.
Carrot cake, fruit cake.
All that shit is don't like carrot cake.
It's nasty as hell.
You don't like carrot cake.
I just said I didn't. Why the fuck would I want to?
I thought you meant that you did. I fucking that is my favorite. Why would I want a
vegetable in cake? It doesn't even go. They don't even sound right. A vegetable in cake. Go to hell. So yeah,
I should have known. You already said you eat hot Cheetos. So what am I even trying to justify with this? You have no taste and no class.
So anyway, shut the hell up, bitch.
Your mama. So Christine is eating the cake, and they're all kikiing, and Christine is like,
you forgot to talk about how she stabbed the eyeball in her cake.
Oh yes. She's
give it a little extra flavor.
She's meddling along with the cake. There's an eyeball in it, starts bleeding, it gets all juicy, but she doesn't freak out, which I appreciated. Because I'm like, Christine, if nobody else is acting like they see this, it's not happening, baby. Or it's just happening to you. And Christine starts coughing and hacking, and it's always gonna be coughing and hacking. And she coughs up a literal fly that pops out of her throat. And it is still alive.
Yes, we've seen this fly. It was around the little boy.
We need to name him at this point.
Jeff Goldblum, and we see it at the beginning of the movie with the little boy. We see it enters her mouth when she's like dreaming.
This fly been alive for 40 years.
Yes. So now they do see this motherfucking fly. They do see that shit, and they like, oh my god, what the fuck? And here go Clay. Oh, a window must have been open.
Well, they look down at the raisin cake and they see raisins in it, and the mom thinks that she seasoned the cake with flies.
Yeah, like they would have died if it's a baked cake, but okay.
Like why didn't she excuse herself? All of this has been happening. This isn't the first time this is happening. I would have been like, there's an eyeball in my cake. All right, guys, I gotta go to the restroom.
Yeah,
something smart. But she doesn't do it.
She hears knocking coming from the door, so she throws a glass at the door. Then she's like, I can hear you. Leave me alone. I can hear. Like, she goes hysterical. So then the mom is like, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? Get the fuck out. Like, and so the whole night is ruined. Dinner ruined. It's over with. She don't like you. I guess this is part of their just lies, but the story, it adds nothing to. We don't hear from the parents again. Clay don't break up with her. I don't understand the point. It
was just to help with the runtime. The movie was only an hour and 30 minutes, and that took up, I swear, like 15 minutes of the runtime.
Thank you. So now she's freaking out. She don't know what to do. So what does she do? Well, she goes and sees the seer again. And he's like, okay, look, bitch, they got this lady, but it's going to be $10,000.
Off it up. Give me the money.
And you got one day before this curse kill your ass. So what's up? So Christine decides to go, and she goes to work, and she's like, this was so fucking dumb. She's like, can I get an now I'm the word that's coming to my head is extension, but it's not what that is. Advance. Thank you. She's like, can I get an advance on my paycheck about this promotion? Because the boss was like, oh, you did this. So and the boss is like, bitch, ain't no promotion because our account was stolen by another bank. And the higher ups are pissed at me and you, so ain't gonna be no promotion. And so she like, oh fuck. So she then goes and unhooks a bunch of shit in her apartment. Like, and when I say a bunch of shit, I mean like toasters,
VCR, trombone, piano, keyboard.
Because she's gonna go and hawk it to get $10,000. If only it were that easy to get $10,000 fucking dollars. So she packs up everything. She goes into the garage. Bam! Here comes Sylvia again. And so Sylvia does not go to choke her. Sylvia she fists her fucking mouth. And it's just nasty for no reason.
The special effects, as movies have progressed over the years, I'm like, this looks so fucking fake. You're right. She punches in the mouth, and somehow there's like some rope there, and Christine
with an anvil. With an Acme. Say it, Tiffany. With an Acme anvil hanging over her. Yes. So she uses her ice skates to cut the rope, and the anvil comes down on Sylvia, and then Sylvia ain't there.
It was a really quick hallucination. I'm like, does she feel these hallucinations? Because all the other time, I guess Sylvia can't hurt her, but everybody else, Lamia was beating her ass. That anvil was ridiculous. Like, get out of here.
Because why is that there?
At Acme Acres is university.
Again, how does she afford this? Because you got a shed and everything. Like, I'm like, this is a nice house.
Hopefully, maybe it was her mom's house, and she just left it to her. That's the only thing I can think of, because that is in LA. No. Yeah.
So she goes.
Even in 2009, that house would have been like at least $750.
$750. It's 50, not $750. So she goes and she hawks all her shit, and the guy's like, "Oh, all this shit you gave me, this whole big container of shit, only $3,000." She's like, "Even my
$3,000."
She's like, "Even my jewelry?" He said $3,000. Take it or leave it, bitch. So now she at home eating ice cream, even though she liked toast and
she took the money. I would have left it. She didn't have enough.
Yeah. So it's just sitting on the counter, and she eating ice cream. Chris like, "Hey, you like toast and tolerance?" She's like, "Who cares if I shit? I'm gonna die." So he like, Clay is like, "Oh, well, I paid the guy."
You couldn't call me and tell me that before I sit my trombone.
I don't know how. I mean, she didn't give away everything, all kinds of childhood memories. So he's like, well, I believe you, so I paid it. This was both.
Well, he doesn't believe her, but he supports her,
which is refreshing in a horror movie, because most of the time he's doing it. At this point, he would have like left her by now. He would have been like, I don't believe you. You're crazy. I'm gone. I feel like that happened.
He would have called her that ex-girlfriend.
That happened in a scary movie. I just don't remember what.
We're not doing this. So we're not doing this. No, I'm still bothered by something you mentioned a while ago, and I still can't think of it. Let's keep it moving.
They didn't get you on Reddit yet?
Let's keep it moving. No, go.
So he drops her off. He just drops her off at the place, and
she tells him not to come in. Yeah, well, I think he needs to see where his fucking money's going.
Well, she's like, he said I got to do it alone. He's like, yeah, that's what he told me. So they go and they meet. We meet Sean Don Juan, and she like, hey, bitch. So 40 years ago, I lost this boy, and I told myself I was gonna get this spirit. If I ever got this spirit, I was gonna jump this hoe. So
kill him dead.
So this moves very fast, and so they go straight to the room. They're like, all right, we're about to do this ritual. So basically, and then they bring in a goat, and she's like, okay, so basically, I'm gonna take the spirit into me. You put my hand on the goat, the spirit will go into the goat. And then she tells old boy over here, Hector, she like, all right, slice his motherfucking throat. She said something strong. I don't know Spanish that well, but I know she said strong. And so they have a little machete. So basically you cut this motherfucker's head off. And they just jump right into it. So the four of them at the table, they say the little thing. They like, you got to give into the darkness, got to let the spirits in. Eventually, like at first, they're bombarded by a bunch of spirits. They look like they from fucking the haunted house mansion at Disney.
Haunted mansion. I get that too. Like, oh my god! And then one of them might go home with you.
I never get tired of it. And have you seen the movie on Disney Plus? The movie was really good.
Yo, it's so fucking long. I did not finish it. I have to go back to it.
It was actually it's long. It was long, I know, but it wrapped.
Like that's not enough. That's not enough to keep children's attention, and apparently not enough to keep 40-year-olds.
Well, then they released it during they did that dumbass shit they did with Hocus Pocus and released it during the summer, so it could be available for by streaming. So I hate streaming, so
I'll have to give it another go a little later. But I didn't finish it.
It was cute. So yeah, they banished.
Did you see when Sandina says you?
Soldier boy, tell him. So,
and after she says that, it's on, baby. Things start shaking, glasses breaking. We hear laughing. And DEFCON 5, baby, it's on.
So Lamia come up, and he like, yeah, you motherfucking whore, bitch. Like, he just start going fucking crazy. And they like, hey, and so the seer.
So this is Lamia's. Lamia is in Sandia right now.
Yeah, and so Jax is like, hey, why we're hoping that you forgive her. You don't want this insignificant one.
Oh, he did. He
you don't want this insignificant. He said, you don't want this insignificant woman. She's poor. She's lame. She's dirty.
Look at her pores. Look at her hair. It's all nasty and brittle. We don't want this. Come on. And you're classy based.
And so he's like, he just started laughing. He's like, ha 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 ha. Ain't no motherfucking forgiveness, bitch. I'm taking this motherfucking hoe tonight.
And we're gonna feast on hell.
Yeah. And so in the midst of him like cackling and doing all this shit, she takes the arm of Sean and she puts it on the goat. And you know, the transfer happens instantly. And then the goat gets
You tricked me, you black-hearted whore. You bitch.
Quite literally. So
the goat. Oh my god, that was so funny. That was so funny.
Hector
His name is not Hector. God damn it! Who the fuck is Hector?
That's what I named him. So,
girl, call him the assistant because his name ain't
Hector. So the goat bites the assistant. We can't call him Hector. Santino, and he becomes possessed with the entity now.
His teeth change and he looks like Danny Trejo off of From Dusk Till Dawn, and then he starts dancing like it.
Fucker. Oh my God, no. You know how he was dancing? He starts levitating. He starts levitating and he does the Sydney dance from Scary Movie.
Shake, 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 Senora, shake it all the time. Like
maybe that's what they got that from Beetlejuice. So
they definitely did.
So yeah, like he just starts dancing and he's just like, I'm gonna kill you, bitch. Like
he pukes up the dead cat.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want your fucking pussy, and he pukes up the kitten, and so she's like, oh, I don't know, but yeah, and he's like about to get her, and then but Jax is over there trying to wake up Sean, and he wakes up Sean because she's like passed out from the possession, and she banishes the spirit. She just says, she says, oh, I know. She says, adios, hola,
bruja,
aquí,
bruja.
Yeah, she says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so the spirit is gone, and everybody's just like, oh my God, and then Sean faints and dies.
They do one pass of CPR.
It was terrible CPR. He wasn't even putting no pressure on that hoe, and so
they call it. It's like, you didn't even try. You didn't try to save that lady. She waited 40 years for this, and you didn't even try.
He like, one, Brandon, 11, count with me. So yeah, she dies, and I mean that's it. And so she's just like, oh my God, it's so ironic. Like she waited 40 years and she banishes him and then she dies. And he's like, hold up, bitch. She didn't banish him. You're still gonna die. She removed him
over to the fat professor sings.
She removed him from the seance. She didn't kill it. So she like, well, bitch, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? And so now I hate how every time she go to this motherfucker, he got a different suggestion. So now he like, well, the owner of the button has the curse. So you can give the button to someone and they will then be cursed. And she asked the perfect question. She asked the Wizard of Oz question. Why didn't you tell me this from the beginning? I'm a heartless bitch. You don't know what I would have did. He gives the same Wizard of Oz response.
What if she would have taken... What if she would have taken the button, sewed it back on, and then given it to you?
Somebody would have had to buy the coat, though. Or because good.
Or what if she would have given it to unhoused person?
Yeah. He like, you look, I told you because you gotta, whoever you give this to, they're gonna get dragged to hell and it's gonna be bad on your spirit.
This is when she loses me.
This because
he takes that button. He takes that button and he puts it in a white envelope and he seals it up. They do not label it. And that's like, I knew that coin was going to be a really important part of the movie, but once he did that, I said, this is going to be her fucking downfall. Same dimensions. This is going to be her downfall. So he puts the button in the envelope, and you're right. She goes to fucking Pop's Diner.
She go to the Waffle House, and after she fights with the employees, she just starts like looking around at people who she feels like deserve this fate. Ma'am. And it
was an old woman,
right,
a sick man.
Yeah, she initially she was about to go get the sick man, but then he had a wife, and she felt bad about that. She was just looking around, and even her waitress was like, you ain't ordering nothing but coffee. Look, I get paid on tips. She like, look, bitch, get out of my face before I give you this button. So she makes a phone call. Who she calls?
I got a tip I can give you.
Her lines never hit with me. They suck. And so she calls Stu and she's like, bitch, get your ass over here because I know you stole that motherfucking file and gave it to them people. Like, because my thing is, I didn't understand, like, if you want this, well, I get, he was trying to garner a deal with the other company, but I was like, why, if you were going to go over there with them, like, you gave them the deal, why didn't they hire you? I didn't understand that part. Like, you did this for nothing. So after that whining, she lets him go. And that's when she loses me. That's when I stopped caring. I stopped caring about her. I stopped caring about her survival because if I drop this water one more time, if you wanted to survive, that was the motherfucker to do it. He was the villain from day one. And you're talking about, oh, you can get out of here. Get out. Like, so I stopped caring because I'm like, you should have gave it to Stu. Fuck you.
Right, but she goes back to Jazz and she says, can she give it to Ganush? Can she give it to Miss Sylvia? He's like, yeah, you can give it to her. So she's
no, don't pass this up. This bitch always coming with some new information after she already tried something. It's annoying. Because why didn't you tell me that before?
Go and dig her up.
He could have literally told her this the first time, like the moment she came about the curse the second time. He could have been like, "Oh, well, you can give it to her." I would have gave it back to that bitch.
Right? Yeah.
Like, look,
I would have given it to her,
even though she didn't know she was dead. Or I'm helping you with your house. Or I don't know. It just this information always comes after she already tried some shit. So yeah, she can curse a deceased person's soul because their soul technically lives forever, so the soul can live forever in hell. So she's driving on the way there.
The stanky prayer cloth. One more time.
You said what?
The stanky hanky.
The prayer cloth from Pastor Kearney Thomas hits her one more time, and it tries to go in her mouth. Like, it was just doing a lot. I was like,
you already put the curse on me, Sylvia. God damn.
And my thing is, did you notice she conveniently stopped in front of the fucking cemetery?
Right.
Like, she was headed to the cemetery. All this happened.
That's because it's on a lot.
So she heads on over. How did she dig this big ass grave by herself?
Yo, that would have taken her and especially since it was raining, that would have taken her so long. It would have been so heavy.
It was a perfect rectangular grave that she dug by herself, and she get down there, and it's just raining, and the mud's coming in, and she like breaks open the fucking casket, and
Sylvia's sitting
there, and she's like, "By the power invested in me, by the hail to the guardians of the Watchtower of the North, I invoke thee. You take this button, you bitch, and swallow it." And she's like, she shoved it in her mouth, and then she kicked her chin off. Wait, no, she tried to put it in her hand, but then, girl, when I tell you this corpse do not let her go, the corpse grabs her hair again and yanks out. She don't have no hair. She looking like Laura from The Craft. Just, I don't understand what's happening. Like, where's your hair, ma'am? And so yeah, she kicks the note. I mean, she kicks the letter with the button, and she's like, "All right, bitch, take it and leave it."
He puts the letter that she didn't look in.
That's what she did.
We did skip one small part, but we've already
when they were in the car. Yeah, when they were in the car,
alluded to it. She was in the car with Clay, and he had to slam on brakes, and all the papers tousled, and she just grabbed the envelope and walked out. No, like, I'm the type of person, when I'm going on an international trip, I done check my purse 16 times to see if my passport is in there, because nothing's gonna hold me.
Check my wallet. Look, it's just a lot of shit that I'll be like, nah.
And for that purpose, I'm gonna make sure this is the button, baby. Not my gumdrop buttons. I'm going to make sure. She the hand won't work, like you said. She pushes in Miss Sylvia's mouth, and then she slams it closed, like, suck on this, bitch, or something that she says, something lame.
It was lame.
Somehow the levees burst, and like, what? How was the
grave overflows with mud and water, and then the corpse starts rising up. I was like, with the note, look, with the note. And then, to add insult into injury, the grave is overflowing. She's trying to get out. Here come the cross. Ding!
And we thought she was
Sam
dead.
Raimi, you will pay for your crimes to humanity.
She comes out of the water. She survives. She's able to get out. Phew.
She wakes up the next day, and it looks like life is great. Her boss calls her. He's like, "Hey, Stu tried to, again, the reason why she should have gave it to Stu tried to come in and say it was you, but I poked some holes into his story, and he revealed that it was him, and he was crying, but, so yeah, you're going to get the promotion. I can't wait to see you on Monday." So her and Clay are going to go on their fucking romantic trip, and they're
train ride.
Right, they're going on a train ride, and so she stops at a clothing store. She's like, I want this coat. And the lady's like, "We ain't opening it. Look, me and my boyfriend are going on a trip, and I need this coat." Which, I mean, it's a sale. I didn't understand why she was giving her a hard time.
Right, you're already there. Let's keep it moving. Lock the door behind me. Let's go.
Like, so yeah, she buys the new coat, and he's planning on proposing to her on their trip. And, she's like, "Oh my God, I have so much to tell you, but let me get it out." And he's like, "Oh, wait, hold on. Before you get it," she was like, "Thank you for believing in me." He's like, "Oh,
wait. This part I didn't like. She says, "Hey, Clay, I have something to tell you." Mm-hmm. I could have given her extension on the house, and I lied and said it was my boss. And this was really all my fault. And Clay's like, oh, you're such a good person. I'm like, no, she's such a bitch. Like, we can't forgive these bitches like this fast. That's what I was so.
It was wrong.
Angry.
And she didn't even really say. I feel like she was still telling half truths because she should have said, I did it to impress my boss so I could get the promotion that I just got this morning. Right. But she doesn't. She's like, it was wrong to do. And yeah, he's just like, fuck that old hag. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I found your button. Now, this is my thing. I feel like he knew this. I feel like you knew that button was cursed. I feel like you knew what the fuck she was going to do. Why wouldn't you?
I don't think so.
You didn't think he knew anything?
Oh. I think when he found the coin, he should have called her and been like, or I'm sorry, when he found the button, be like, hey, what happened to my coin? I'm trying to put it in my collection.
Yeah. So she sees the button and she starts back. She's like, no. And she just keeps backing. What are you doing? Like, literally, what are you doing? She backs up and she falls onto the train tracks. And so he's like, oh my God, take my arm. She's on the track. She's literally in the middle of the track and the train's coming. And he's just like, not my arm. And the train's coming. And then this shit was funny. Freddie comes up and he snatches her to hell with him and Jason. And she's just like, help me. And
like, how can we help you? How? Please. How? You should have helped yourself and checked that envelope. But baby Christine gets dragged on to hell and Clay sees her. So he's like, oh my God, all of this stuff was real.
Right.
He's ruined.
And the movie ends. We don't even see. That's it. That's all we get.
Title card, drag me to hell. And baby, she gets dragged to hell because she should have checked that envelope. And I knew it. When I tell you, in 2009, I knew it as soon as he put that in the envelope. I said, she's going to not double check. They could have wrote something on it. He could have put an X. He could have put a fucking skull mask on that bitch.
Honestly, it's been 3 days. You should have put it in your collection already. Like, what the fuck?
Right. He talked about it a lot. He talked about it to his dad and everything. Excuse me, and everything too. Okay, so that's 2009's Drag Me to Hell. We had a couple of technical difficulties.
Jesus.
Difficulties. Let's hope everything next week is great and on the up and up. So for Drag Me to Hell, I'm gonna give it a 6. It was a wild ride. It kept me entertained thoroughly. It was a very short movie. It was gummy. It was grotesque, but I knew what to expect from this director. Like I said, if you've seen Evil Dead, you know what type of crazy shit he gets into. I do recommend you watch this movie. It's on Prime Video I was about to say for free. If you have a subscription to Prime. But I say, 6 for me. Actually, I'm going to give it a 6.5 because there's a black woman in it. Even though she didn't talk, it was fucking Octavia Spencer.
I'm going to give it a 5. I can deal with gore, but when it's just like gross shit, like bile coming out of like, it was just hard to, I got looked away so many times.
I was screaming and kicking my feet like, ah!
But yeah, I'm giving it a 5, just the acting. She wasn't a strong actress for.
I call this bitch.
Yeah, she just wasn't a strong actress. Even if you want to make it campy and like goofy, she just like there's a way to carry that. Like the Evil who's the damn actor from Evil Dead? I can't think of his name, but there's a way, huh?
Bruce Campbell.
Thank you. When he acts, even when it's supposed to be funny, like even those movies when it's ridiculous, I still feel like he believes, like his character, like I feel like and it just, she wasn't strong.
Was she not strong, or was everybody around her better actors?
Well, touche.
And she had a lot of scenes by herself too. She was just fighting ghosts and entities, the Lamia.
Yeah, Justin should have talked to her more like, girl, this is how you do it, Jeepers Creepers. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, all right, guys, please be sure to join us next week when we review A Nightmare on Elm Street. It is the 40th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street. We are so excited. This is one of my top 5 horror movies of all time.
Really?
absolutely love this movie. The acting is not good here either, but Robert Englund makes up for it, and he's amazing. So yes, this is one of the best. Keep your mindset that this was made in the 80s, so the special effects are going to look a little janky, but just make sure you know, you stick to the times. But all right, guys, we will see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Where did you hide it, Dan?